Hi everybody, welcome back to Taji's World of Books and welcome to a very unique video experience that I'm going to be doing. Hey you guys, so welcome back to my channel, and so today I am going to be doing for the first time a video review on fanfic. I have been seeing this fanfic everywhere and it was coming up on my feed. Some of my friends were reading it, and you know me, like I read in order, and I tend to read, like if I'm reading a series, I'm not gonna break until I finish that series and then I'll jump on to the next. This was good enough that I was like, I'm gonna stop reading Maggie Cole, the Mafia Wars, and I'm gonna jump over into this world, and I became obsessed. It was so good, and I have to share the wealth with you guys. So I have my tablet with me so I can make sure I get all the little details and tell you where to find all the little Easter eggs and bits and bobs. So without further ado, you guys, let's get into it. So I want to talk about an author, and she is phenomenal. Okay, she's absolutely amazing. I absolutely love her. I don't know where the heck she came from. She came out of nowhere for me, but I'm like just loving her so much. And her name, and I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, is Senlin Yu. Okay, and the book that I'm talking about is fanfic for Draco and Hermione. And there are three particular books or stories. One is a short story and two are, I would say they're books. You can't get the books, you have to read them online, but I would say one is 73 chapters and the other is like 55. So those are full-length books that are fanfics. And in my opinion, this is the way that Hogwarts and the Harry Potter books should have gone if they were adult reads, and they weren't. So we understand, but I am loving these outcomes. So if you like Harry Potter, stay tuned, buckle up. You are going to be so pleased for this ride that I'm going to take you on here in a minute. So let's get started. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I have a 8-year-old son, and my 8-year-old son has just discovered Harry Potter. So I'd say like probably 4 months ago. Something like that, 4 months ago. So there has been all things Harry Potter in this household. So while I'm reading my books, he reads his Harry Potter books, and it works out really, really well. And then not only does he read Harry Potter, but he researches online. He has this Harry Potter in 99 seconds. I'll probably put it over here. Like, it's just all things Harry Potter. And so I know the Harry Potter stories really well because of my interaction with my kid, and it is wonderful. And so when it came to, and then we watched all the movies, okay? So my history of Harry Potter and my knowledge of Harry Potter is quite good. And so when I heard about these stories, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already up in the world, so why don't I just jump on this bandwagon? So I did. So the first one that I want to talk about is a short story called The Library of Alexandria. And I absolutely love it because it's the Library of Alexandria. This is a tag. The Library of Alexandria is not just for witches or wizards. Many bookworms may try, but few are permitted to pass through its doors. The books residing there are ancient and powerful, and if one happens to make a mistake, the consequences can be rather novel. And so this story really is a really short story. Hermione is working in the Library of Alexandria. It's after Hogwarts, right? So after the war, everything is the same outcome that the traditional Harry Potter books, where Voldemort is dead, you know, and Harry and Ron are off learning a particular type of magical skill, and Hermione is working at the Library of Alexandria because she wants to become a magical librarian, and she's learning some specific skills. And while she's working in the library, in comes Draco Malfoy. Now, Draco Malfoy has received penalties and punishments as a result of the things that he's done and what he did at the, you know, in the Deathly Hallows. And so he has really started to make amends for all of those things. And they went to school together afterwards at their 8th year. And so Hermione knows Draco, and, you know, he's not the same character that he was in Harry Potter. And so as a result, he's there because he has to be at the library in order to re-up the wards on his family's vaults and his family's legacy or whatever. And so while he's there, Hermione decides that she's going to help him to redo these wards. And when they redo the wards, they make a mistake and they're locked into the library for like 3 weeks. They can't leave. And in order for them to leave, they have to get married. And it is such a cute story and so beautiful and so funny and so amazing because it is just, you know, it's an enemies to lovers story. It is spicy, steamy, sexy. You just absolutely love these characters. Everything that they go through in this story is just really, I'm going to try and kick up some photos or some things, little bits from that I can find on the internet so you can see. It is just amazing, amazing. But it's not. The Library of Alexandria just kind of, and it's sort of like, it's in the same world. When I'm going to talk about three of the three stories, the Library of Alexandria is like in the same world, but it's like different outcomes that might have happened if this were to be the outcome, okay? So the Library of Alexandria just whets your appetite. It is nothing. I'm going to lead up to the crescendo. Okay, so that's the Library of Alexandria. Then the next one is All You Want. And All You Want is, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's so good. So you can get it as an audiobook, as a podcast on Amazon, on Audible, okay? And I'll put the link somewhere around here so you can find it, and I'll also put the link in the description below. Now, there are, as I said, I believe there are 35 chapters and an epilogue, and to date, they have 31 of the chapters done in audio narration, and the narrator is phenomenal and amazing, and it's so, so good, and like each chapter is like, I don't know, like at the rate that I listen to stuff, it's like about 12 minutes, 11, 12 minutes long. And I listened to it all yesterday. And then I just read the last 3 chapters, which was like perfect. But I cannot tell you how sexy and spicy and steamy and amazing this book is. Okay, so this is All You Want. It's the 8th year at Hogwarts. And it was supposed to be Hermione's year. And she does not expect the outcomes that are going to happen. So it's after the war. Voldemort is dead. Harry and Ron are like off learning some kind of skill, so they're gone. She's at her 8th year. Ginny is there. Ginny is head girl, and so on the train going to Hogwarts, she runs into Draco Malfoy, and Draco Malfoy has grown immensely, and he's had this major growth spurt, and she's like trying to figure it out, but she's like, what the, that's Draco? Like, damn, I didn't recognize that was Draco. And Draco talks to her and he sees her, but then he runs off because he smells something, and then he's out of there. And she's like, do I smell bad? What's going on? So then, to make a long story short, she gets to Hogwarts, she gets herself situated, she's in the dorms, and all of a sudden her body starts to tingle and all this stuff starts to happen, and she doesn't know what's going on. She's getting a hot flash, and Neville is there. And next thing you know, Neville sweeps her up and he's like, I will take care of you. I will da-da-da. And he starts to kiss her neck, and she's all flushed, and she's like, what is going on? And she's like, yes, 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 yes. And it's clearly she's in this moment of ecstasy. And so then she snaps at him and she's like, this is Neville. What is going on? She's like, Neville, get off of me. Don't do this. Stop. Blah, blah, blah. And so, Neville basically comes out of the trance, and she, also notices that Neville has gone through this major growth spurt as well. So, when Ginny walks in and sees what's going on, and Neville is also engaged to Hannah to be married, and so, Neville's like, what did I just do? And so this is, so bad. So they take Hermione to the nurse's office, basically, to find out. And this is where the story becomes, if you imagine, if any of you have ever read the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and the growth spurt that the guys go through when they're in their transition year, do you remember that? And then also when the females go through their needing time, if you were to merge all of that and drop it into this story, that's exactly what happens. So Hermione learns that she is in the middle of her heat or her needing because she is an Omega, and Neville and Draco and all those other boys that she recognized as having these major growth spurts are alphas. And so alphas and omegas have to be together because they're made for each other. And so she has to find, so an unmated omega is a very dangerous thing to be in a house or in a school with unmated alphas, because it's going to cause a tremendous amount of upheaval because they're all going to vie for her attention, and they can basically smell her from miles away, and they're all basically trying to mate with her, and people are going to come out of the woodworks. And that's why when families learn that they have a daughter that is an omega, they try to marry her very, very quickly, because it's going to cause lots and lots of problems. And it doesn't matter if the alpha is already married or already in a relationship. It's almost biologically driven. He can't help himself. And so the story evolves from there. And I think that like at some part in here, she says that this story is like, it's so daggone good. She's like, this story is like part smut, part teenage angst, part miscommunication, dark romance, like slow burn type situation. It is just, when I say that this story is phenomenal and so, so good. And so like in the very beginning, it's, you know, Draco is like, he knows what Hermione, so all the things in the story previously, the main Harry Potter story, where Bellatrix tortured Hermione, Draco was in the house, he heard it, he didn't do anything about it, like all of that is still in play. And so now it's just post-war, they're in the 8th year together, and so now there's this dynamic. So all the alphas are sort of pulled. There's a conversation that Professor McGonagall has with them that basically says, like, listen, this is a scenario, you're all going to sign an NDA, we're not going to let you, but if any of you do anything that is against her will, you will be expelled. Draco has all of these tenets put against him because that's part of his probation, and as a result, like the Ministry of Magic has said, if you get expelled, if you do this, if you do that, you will go to Azkaban for 10 years, like, and that's where his father is, and so Draco has to, you know, walk a very, very fine line to not get himself in trouble. So sure enough, he's walking down the hallway, and as he's walking down the hallway, he hears somebody screaming and crying, and he doesn't understand, but at the same time, he goes, that sounds like Hermione. I know what Hermione sounds like when she's screaming and crying. And he basically bolts and makes his way down, and she is in her heat, and he breaks through wards and breaks through walls to get to her, to protect her, and the story really evolves from there. And when I say it's spicy, it's steamy, it's smutty, it's heartbreaking, it's angsty, it's miscommunication, it's lack of understanding, it's all of those things. Senlin Yu is an amazing writer. She crafted a beautiful, beautiful tale. And the audiobook narrator that did, and I'm sorry, I don't know who narrated this story, brought the story to life. And it was one of the best stories that I have read in such a long time. When I say it is fiery, it is really, really good. And I'm just like, you find yourself, you're going, whew, I'm flush, as a result of like everything that goes down in this book. It's just amazing. And there's some dubious consent situations. There is a dubious consent situation that happens. She, you know, cues you up when that happens. And so I kind of am okay that she does that. I don't have any triggers, so it doesn't bother me, but for people who need triggers, it's great. But in a way, I was like, I wish she didn't do that because it takes away the suspense of what's going to happen in the story. So again, you should check that out. It's so, so good. That is all you want. Okay, and then the last one that I want to talk about is Manacled. And Manacled is another outcome in this world that could occur. These things are not related, so all you want is a very different story. Still about Draco and Hermione and their outcome, and it has an HEA, and it's so, so good. Library of Alexandria, a different story with Draco and Hermione, has an HEA, so, so good. And then finally, Manacled. And Manacled is like, it probably is going to hit my top favorite standalone novels of 2022. I started the year off with a bang. It is, when I say it is good, it is next level good. And this is how it starts. It says, Harry Potter is dead. In the aftermath of the war, in order to strengthen the might of the magical world, Voldemort enacts a repopulation effort. Hermione Granger has an order secret, lost but hidden in her mind, so she is sent as an enslaved surrogate to the High Reeve until her mind can be cracked. And when I say that this is next level intent, I'm not even joking you. This is a combination of like Hogwarts meets The Handmaid's Tale with like a dark, dubious consent. It is like so much like, okay, so it says, warning, this work is dark. Rape and non-consensual sex are a significant and ongoing aspect of the plot. There are also character deaths, psychological trauma, descriptions of battlefield violence, and references of torture. Reader discretion is advised. And she says that, that the initial inspiration of this a plot occurred when watching the first episode of The Handmaid's Tale. I think it's important, like it really is. So the repopulation effort is absolutely what they did in The Handmaid's Tale, but imagine if it happened in a magical world. And so now they're finding that the Muggleborns are the ones who are going to be the ones who are going to repopulate the earth. And so the story is told, like it starts at the beginning, the war is over, Harry Potter is dead, Voldemort is in power, and they are moving forward with the new rules and the way that things are going to happen in this new world. So you go through the story in that way, and then you get to a part where Hermione has to recover her memories, and she is being prodded to recover memories, and then it's like flashbacks. So then the rest of the story is being told in flashbacks. So you have like 30 chapters of flashbacks, and it's all building up to where you are currently, to this ultimate crescendo. And when I say that Manacled is the ultimate like story, it is so good, and it's exactly the way I would believe in a world where Voldemort is in power, everything sort of would play itself out, and nothing is as it seems. Everything is topsy-turvy, upside down. You don't know who to trust, you don't know who to believe, you don't know who's on whose side and who is your supporter, or who is going to be for you or against you. And I can tell you, it is amazing. The entire book is on audiobook. It is narrated for you by, and you can choose to check it out on a couple of channels. Spotify has it. However, Spotify only has like the first 50 or so chapters. The entire book can be found on YouTube by the Audiobook Warriors, and they are, and I've been in contact with them, they have released up to chapter 72, which just dropped this morning, and I did speak with them about releasing the remainder of the 70, like I said, I think it's 70, it's either 73 or 75 chapters and 3 epilogues, and they are going to be doing that as well. I think with everything going on, they got a little bit behind, but they said that they are releasing it, and like I said, this morning they released chapter 72, and even though I've already read it, I went ahead and listened to it, and it's amazing, amazing, so good. So for those of you that, and like each chapter is like, you know, some are 50 minutes long, some are 30 minutes long, and they've done this like because they just are Draco and Hermione fans, and they want that story told, and they want to put it out there in a digestible way. And so if you want to check it out, like please go and support them. I will link their channel down below so that you can go and find it there. And like I said, I'm just checking right now to make sure that all of the chapters are here. And like I said, yeah, so they have chapters 54 through 72 up currently. And then there is another channel where you can get chapters 1 through 53. I'll link both of those channels below so that you can go and check them out there. But I'm telling you, like without a doubt, this story is phenomenal. It's so good. It's so dark. It's so heartbreaking. It's not for the faint of heart. And if you are fans, like you may walk away going, how did I walk into this world? What did I just do? But you were rooting for these characters. It is a dark and depressing world where it's ruthless. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Like you have to do what you have to do in order to survive. And like they have gone through, and it takes you through before the war, and it takes you through the wartime, and then it takes you through after the war, and then in the epilogues, it takes you like 10 years out, 15 years out, so you can see how this is developing and what's happening with these characters, and it's one of the best pieces of work that I have found, and I cannot believe that she is not a published author. If she puts this book together, I certainly, and makes it available for purchase, I certainly will buy it because it is outstanding. So you guys, I have spoken a lot and said a lot about that. I hope, and like I said, I'm going to try and throw up some clips so you guys can see, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you go and check out this author and try to support her and do her, you know, read these books, because they are just, you will not be disappointed with Manacled, and you will not be disappointed with All You Want. All You Want is so damn sexy and so damn spicy. It is just, whoo, it's smut, but it's so good. And then, like I said, Manacled is like dark. Like it rivals some of Pepperwinter Winter's works. It rivals some of T.M. Fraser's works. It's pretty dark, but it's so good. You fall in love with these characters, and I don't want to leave this world. I'm so obsessed. I keep searching and looking, trying to see if I could find more about Draco and Hermione, because I love them. I love them together. I love everything that they have to go through. I love the arc. I love the development of these characters. Like, it is just amazing. Amazing, amazing. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And come and hang out with me more and see what else I'm talking about and what else I'm doing. You guys, that's all I have for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.